Hello everyone, this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chiles, and we are going to smoke some tri-tips with the Hardcore Carnivore black beef seasoning. We'll be using another seasoning because we've got 3 here, but we're just going to show you with this seasoning. This is one of our favorite seasonings we use when smoking. It helps retain the moisture in the meat and the juices. Now, tri-tip, a lot of you aren't familiar with. It's very popular in South America and more so in California. Here in Georgia, there's a few stores that carry it. One is called GMC Meats in Coosa, which is just west of Rome, Georgia. And what I want you to know is a tri-tip is a cut that's kind of like part of the sirloin, but it's a little bit lower towards the cow's belly. So if you took the hind leg of the cow and you went about, not to the bottom of the belly, but like the side where it starts to form down to the lower belly, that's where that cuts from. It's very tender and juicy, and it is kind of has the same type of flavor as a ribeye, except if you were to get a ribeye that's not even a pound, that was USDA prime, you would probably spend about $35 for that steak if it's a good thick cut, and it'll be roughly about a pound. These tri-tips here are close to 2 pounds, or 1.5 pounds, I'll say, and it's $4.99 a pound, and it's a beautiful piece of meat. It's going to have the same tender juiciness as a ribeye. A lot of people will say it's the same as a ribeye. So if you can find tri-tip, it's going to be about less than 1/3 the price of a ribeye, but have the same flavor. Now on the back side, they usually have a fat cap, which I've trimmed off here. I don't need a fat cap. It's not pork. I don't need it to smoke for like 6 hours and let the fat go into the meat like pork. So I trim it off. But it wasn't that bad. It was under a 1/4 inch thick, sometimes about an 1/8 inch thick. So I trimmed it off, gave a few pieces to the dogs. We are going to smoke this in the Camp Chef grill at 220 degrees, which is the high smoke setting. Now, as I've said in my other videos, I prefer the Camp Chef over Traeger for a few reasons. As far as square inches of grill space, if you compare grill space to grill space, Camp Chef to Traeger, you're going to pay about 20% more for Traeger because of the Traeger name. The other thing is the Camp Chef will have side accessories like this here, which is a sear box, which will get up to 900 degrees. And they have this thing called a sear sidekick now, so you can like cook a pot of beans or take the thing off and you do the searing. Now we're going to reverse sear this tri-tip, and which means after we smoke it, we're going to let it rest, and then we're going to sear it about a minute each side. Then we're going to let it rest again, and then we'll slice it for people to eat. Now I'm cooking these tri-tips here in appreciation of my workers that have done a really good job this plant season, and I'm cooking them some tri-tip and for them and their families, and they can make a side dish to go along with it. I'm also going to go out and bring some to a few friends and to my neighbors. So pretty much, I mean, I'll eat some of it, but most of this I'm cooking for other people. Okay, so the grill is set at the low smoke, high smoke setting at 220 degrees. It's going to cook for about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And I recommend you let your meat get to room temperature for about 30 minutes before grilling. That always helps. Now, if you don't have a pellet grill smoker like me or another smoker, you can take like one of these Weber barbecues right here, and you can make a good pile of coals, get them good and red, put them to one side, and then put your meat on this side, and then just keep an eye on the temperature. And when the internal temperature gets to about 125, 130, add some more, take the meat off, add some more coals so you get a really hot grill, and then sear it on both sides, and then let it rest. And you'll roughly get the same kind of effect as my pellet grill over here. But the other thing you can do is you can get some wood chips, some smoking wood chips, and put them in your coals for that process, so you can get that smoky flavor into the meat. Okay, Whenever you cook beef or pork or any meat and you decide to cook it longer and slower, you're going to get a juicier meat and you're going to get a more tender meat. Okay, so this is what we're going to do with the Hardcore Carnivore. It's a charcoal rub, and we're going to really go to town on this. We're even going to like get some on the sides. You can always add a little bit more while it's smoking. That's fine. Just keep in mind that some of it's not going to stick and it's going to fall off, and then you'll be using a lot of rub. Okay. So you could flip it over midway through the smoking process and then sprinkle a little bit more on your one. But that's pretty much what you're going to want to see right there. Okay. So I'm going to just put it on the grill right here. And the back of my grill gets a little bit hotter, so I'm going to put the thicker part towards the back. Okay. And you can see we already got some. We might have enough of this to do all 3 tri-tips. I was going to do 2 tri-tips with one rub and one with another, but it looks like I might get lucky and have enough of this rub to go on. Well, probably not. I'm probably not going to have enough rub to go on. There's some here in the tray that I can pick up. Let's put this second one on. This is what the meat looks like, okay? So we're going to try to scavenge if I can't coat the meat with all this rub, with the rest of this rub, because I've run out, okay? I've literally run out. If I get enough covering on here, it's still going to flavor the meat well. So it is what it is. I'm not going to go inside and get a third kind of rub. Just going to try to move this meat around the tray to get up all the rub that's sprinkled in there. Look, whoever I give this tri-tip to today is not going to complain. So there's our 3 tri-tip. So it's going to be at 220 degrees for an hour or a little bit over an hour, and then we're going to sear it on the sear box. Okay? So now we're going to sear the tri-tip on the sear box, which is a 900 degree sear box from Camp Chef, and we're going to let it go on here for about close to a minute each side. This one piece was at the far left side of my grill, the furthest left side, so it's a little bit above 130 degrees internal temp, close to 135, so it's a little bit cooked more than I would like it. Ideally, I want it to be 125, 130 degrees when I sear it, and I'm going to sear it a little bit under a minute each side, and I'm going to close the sear box grill right here. These other 2 in here were more toward the right hand side, so they are just below 130 degrees internal meat temp. The grill's already off. It's in shutdown mode. And if you use the Camp Chef grill, you want to always like clean the ashes out into the ash cup. There's a thing that dumps the ashes into the ash cup. So, and you want to do that every time you grill. And the other thing you want to do is when you turn it off, just don't turn it off. Hit the shutdown mode and let it power down slowly in 20 minutes, and your grill will last you a lot longer and give you a lot more years of service. So right now it's in shutdown mode. It's below 100 degrees, and the other 2 tri-tips that weren't as high as internal temp because they were more to the right side of the grill where it's cooler are just sitting here waiting their turn to go on the sear box to be reverse seared. You can see the juices are already starting to come out of the meat. See how they're coming out of the meat there? See that? So we'll close this lid and we'll let it go for probably about 30 seconds. We just want to get a little bit of a sear on there. And that's about it. Like I said, if I would have had the temperature closer to 125, but trust me folks, 5-10 minutes can make the difference on you having your meat cooked to medium rare or medium. It can be that fast. So you want to really keep an eye on your meat. This grill does have a thing where I can put probes in it, and I can have an app go to my phone and it can tell me exactly when it's at temperature. I've never used it, maybe because I'm an older man. The other reason is, you know what? My fat butt needs to get off the couch more often, and so coming back and forth and checking the temperature is probably better for me to move around than sit around and just look at my phone. Now after this meat rests, you're going to see a lot more juices come out of it. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to one of the local businesses, and we're going to slice the meat there. Normally we do a tasting video separately from the cooking video, but this time we're going to combine the tasting video with the cooking video, okay? Because it's not going to be a super long video. So there's the meat, and as it sits and cools down, you're going to see the juices are going to come pouring out of it. You can already see some of the juices in the bottom of the pan. Okay, so we're going to take the other meat off and we're going to sear them really quick, and then we're going to go take a little ride down the road to Terry Simmons State Farm office before they close, so we can share some of the meat with them. Here we are at my friend Farrell's gun shop in Lindale, Georgia. If you need your gun serviced, or if you want to get a good deal, because he sells really good prices, come on down to Farrell's gun store, and he's going to try some of the Hardcore Carnivore Rub Tri-Tip. How's it looking?
It looks fine.
You probably slice it thinner than that, but that's okay.
Hey, I'm on a shelf. I'm a gun dealer. You're right. It's good.
It's just as good as a ribeye, ain't it?
It's better.
Yeah. You want to become famous and try it? No? Okay. All right. Maybe you got to want to post it.
Try it. It's great.
Well, you can try it off camera.
I'm eating all this piece.
Look
how soft it is.
I made a video. I mean, it'll bother me, but I don't know.
That's okay. Well, I'm going to leave you with half of it, so you're going to have plenty.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for trying it.
You're welcome.
Rewards card.
Okay. So we didn't make it to Terry Simmons State Farm office. They were closed. I was going to have them sample it. So I'm over here with my friends at Lindale Ace Hardware, family-owned hardware store. Been around for a long, long time. And they're going to taste the tri-tip that's been smoked with the Hardcore Carnivore Rub right there. Okay.
Are we ready?
You are ready. You tell me what you think of that. You give me your honest opinion.
That is fabulous.
Okay.
Oh, that is good.
Now you're going to try it? Is that young man over there, he work here? Does he work here? He's got an Ace shirt on. At least that's his name.
Oh my gosh, that's delicious.
Is he old enough
Isn't
to try that?
good?
Oh, that is so good.
Maybe that customer over there wants to
Very.
try a piece. You want to try a piece?
Clay, you want to try some?
good.
Oh, it's good.
All right. Oh, I know him. Come on over here and taste this.
Oh my goodness. What is
Yes, come
jerky?
taste.
No. Have you ever had tri-tip? It's a cut of meat not popular in Georgia. You can get it at Coosa Market, the GNC Market in Coosa. It's just as good as ribeye.
Yes.
I'm going home now
You-
with everything.
Do you know what tri-tip is? Have you heard of it? It's popular in California.
Tri-tip?
Tri-tip. It's a cut of the cow that's popular in California, but not really out here. But at GMC Meat Market, you can get it for $4.99 a pound in Coosa, and it is just as good as a ribeye, ain't it?
It's so
Oh,
good.
that is good. So
Wow.
good.
Thank you for bringing us.
So the rub is Hardcore Carnivore. They're a company out of Texas, and that's called the black rub. It's like a charcoal rub.
That is good. That's amazing.
It is, huh?
It is.
You just cook it to 130, 135 temperature with a thermometer, and you're done.
Really? Well, that is good. That's amazing.
You want to taste another piece?
You don't have to ask me twice. It's so good. Thank
Well,
you.
I got the camera, so I can't slice anymore because I got the camera unless I put it back on my head.
That is outstanding. You did fantastic. And I'm normally one that don't try different,
Yeah.
but that is,
Isn't that as good as a ribeye steak?
it is.
It is, but it's like 1/3 the price, $4.99 a pound. I think that's cheaper than ground beef.
Probably if you're getting a really
If you go to like
good-
Publix or something.
Yeah.
You want to taste another piece?
It's really good. It is, isn't it?
We'll go ahead and slice one. I mean, I got the camera, so I can't. I'm occupied. Well, I can put it back on my head.
Oops.
So when you discover tri-tip, then that will be what you'll grill more often than a steak.
Tri-tip.
Tri-tip, T-R-I-T-I-P,
Okay.
and it's at GMC. That cut of meat you can get at GMC any day of the week in Coosa. GMC Market right in West Rome.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah,
I know where you're talking. Oh my gosh.
and for $4.99 a pound, you cannot beat that. That's just,
$4.99 a pound.
yeah. I thought it'd be a lot more. In California, it's more expensive. It's about $8 or $9 a pound.
$4.99 a pound. That's incredible.
I know. It has a layer of fat on the bottom of it. I just trim it off because it's not like pork where you let the fat kind of melt into the meat and smoke it a long time. So, or a brisket. So I trim the fat off it, and that makes my dogs very happy.
Oh yes, it does. Well, that's delicious. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad
so
you
much.
y'all could try it. You know,
I'm glad you brought it in.
I
We
want people to
appreciate
taste it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's wonderful.
So, thank you all.
Thank you.
You did
You're
a
welcome.
fabulous job. That is awesome.
You wouldn't believe how easy it is. I put it in the pellet smoker. I buy my pellets from you. I got a pellet smoker. I put it in there at 220, 1 hour, and then I sear it each side for 30 seconds to a minute, and then I let it rest, and that's it with the rub. There's
Wow.
you don't have to be a chef to
That
do
doesn't
that.
take long at all.
No,
in
no,
those
1
pellet
hour.
Smokers. Wow.
No.
Well, that is
Very
awesome.
good.
All righty.
good.
You all take care now.
We will.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.